Chris Buescher with an excellent placement of his car, but it opens up that inside line back here to SVG.
SVG had an open lane, but he wasn't close enough to capitalize.
They're full wide coming to the S's. Who was going to give?
Way through to the lead. Hocevar now second. SVG is third. They're going to stack them up double line for fourth. A couple of white and blue cars there at the top of your screen. Chastain and Briscoe. And
oh, there's a big wreck. That's Brad Keselowski.
Gets launched up onto the retaining wall. Brad Keselowski's involved.
Oh my goodness. Look where the wheel, the right front wheel is at. It just broke the window.
My goodness. The defending race winner, William Byron. Playoff driver, William Byron. Playoff driver, Brad Keselowski.
Man, the playoff contenders here at the Glen is tough blow to this.
We posed the question right at the beginning of the day. Would this be a wild card race that had an impact on the overall playoff picture? The answer is a resounding yes.
Absolutely. Good to see both cars drive away. It was a scary situation where that right front tire of the 24 ended up kind of up there near the door top. Window net still intact. You see now the damage kind of behind the window net on the quarter panel for the 6. Let's take a look at what happened.
Coming out of the S's.
Blue car side by side with Logano.
Contact with Logano.
Logano kind of gets into the 6 or vice versa, but either way, man, what a hit for the 24.
It was super tight. That is such a funnel through there. It is way tighter.
Look at the right rear wheel.
Appears on television. And there was nothing between it. Here's the view from Tyler Reddick. Look up ahead.
Very, very fortunate for the 24.
Oh, that camera survived.
Armco there, the extra third layer, not just a normal 2-height Armco, but a triple height Armco. You see all the way at the top of it. That gets very, very scary if he gets above that Armco into the catch fence. Fortunately, not the case.
Yeah, that would have been.
It's so hard to tell. You see the beating and banging. I don't know who's in the appropriate lane. It's so, you said narrow and S's.
Yeah. It's just a funnel, right? It's just a tunnel up there. And by the way, that section is blind when you're coming up there and coming around to the right. And William had just gone to the left of Logano. Logano kind of got hung up a little bit.
And Byron just pitted. Jesus.
And it happened in a split second. 7.5 miles to determine the winner of this one. The playoff drivers are wounded. Who's going to get the best result? And who is going to win this one? Waiting for the green one.
Oh, green.
Ben Gisbergen getting Buescher a little bit of a bump, and it's hurt him because they open up that gap. He's going to have to go deep on the brakes. He's got Chastain on his outside. Mike Bagley, they're coming to you.
Chris Buescher breaks away with the lead again. Hocevar trying to hang on to second. He'll chop off.
Oh, we got another big wreck.
There's SVG on the attack. He'll look to the outside for a moment. And there's trouble runner back. Tyler Reddick's around. Kyle Busch is involved. That's Reddick in the 45.
Kyle Busch again. No.
Trying to right their cars. Trouble mid-pack on back. As everybody
overtime
was able
once
to
again.
escape.
We're going to overtime. That was right towards the back of the pack. How did it unfold?
How can you tell?
I know.
4 wide, total chaos. Looked like the 38. It starts with the 38 trying to get over for turn 2. He contacts the 9, who gets somebody to his left right there.
Got Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott who gets Barry, and then they stacked up. Truex, pretty hard damage into the wall. We'll see if the 19 has to come to the.
Honestly, if I'm Kyle Busch,
Reddick finally gets turned
just
around
park
on the
it.
nose of the 8.
Just had enough
Haley
of
was
this.
behind Martin Truex. Here's another view. Tyler Reddick.
Kyle Busch was involved in that first incident on lap 1. Let's call it. Throw in the towel.
So I think Gilliland may have got on the 12th race of this 2024 season that has had at least one overtime. This overtime
at the Glen.
Credit one back. Buescher on the left, Hocevar on the right, SVG on the inside, alongside Ross Chastain. Here we go. Do we finish it off? And Gisbergen tries to unsettle Buescher. Puts it on the inside.
3 wide for the lead, SVG.
Gisbergen and Buescher, side by side to you, Mike.
Wheel to wheel.
SVG clears
coming to the
Buescher.
S's, and it's SVG. He'll power past Buescher and go to the lead. Buescher now to second. Third now will be Carson Hocevar. Chastain in fourth, but SVG, your new leader in NASCAR overtime.
Top 4 breakaway. Can Chris Buescher get it regathered and try to come back for a charge at Shane Van Gisbergen? He gets into the bus stop well. The top 2 have started to squirt away from the field. Now Buescher sideways, hustling that 17 car as he tries to track down Shane Van Gisbergen through the carousel. Top 2 breaking away out of 5.
It was a little bit of contact from SVG to the 17 that presented this opportunity for the lead. If Buescher can catch him, he has a provision slip now to use the same tactic, but I don't think he can. I think SVG has the fastest race car.
SVG shows his experience. 1 lap to go to figure it out. 7 corners of the Glen to try to stay clear of Chris Buescher. The battle on for third behind with Chastain and Hocevar.
And no matter what happens on this lap, the race will be determined. Do you know what? If you go back to 2012, a former NASCAR driver by the name of Marcus Ambrose drove to a spectacular victory, being hounded by Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski is one of the co-owners of the team of the car doing the chasing. Chris Buescher is hounding down Shane Van Gisbergen, who happens to be mentored by Marcus Ambrose. Marcus will be back in Australia watching this, and it's shades of Keselowski and Ambrose all over again. Buescher gets on the inside of SVG and says, "You pushed me around earlier, I'm going to give it back."
That could remind me of 2012.
Van Gisbergen's only got 1 real shot left at it. Maybe 2. Thinks about it into turn 6. Did Buescher save the best to last? Or has Van Gisbergen got a little payback? He gets wide. He loses it almost. He has to gather.
Chris Buescher wins
Buescher
at the
wins
Glen.
in the most spectacular style. What did we just see?
Carson Hocevar 3rd, Chastain 4th, Zane Smith 5th.
The pain of missing the playoffs has just been eased with a phenomenal victory at the Glen by Chris Buescher.
Well, let's relive the battle. It starts on the restart, right? Chris Buescher and SVG. Restart after restart. Buescher leads the inside lane. SVG behind, down into turn 1. Slight contact from the 16 to the 17. Gets him a little out of shape and just overcooks the corner. SVG gets to his inside and clears him up the S's.
It was on from this point. Both drivers did incredibly well, but this is where Buescher got the run, courtesy of an unforced error from SVG.
Rarely do we see it, but that's exactly what happened. 16, too much speed into the bus stop, loses the back of the car. The 16, slight contact, look at it again, Lee, he turns in okay, but so much speed, he loses the rear, turning back to the left, right there.
Damn, well, it's not as heartbroken as Marcus Ambrose in
To the
Montreal.
right of the 16, this contact right here is NASCAR racing at its finest. And then, what a set of corners to close it in. Didn't allow the 16 to get to him on board with Buescher.
This was the winning move. Mistake from Van Gisbergen. Buescher pounces, gives him a little nudge, unsettles the 16, and says, "I'm coming through to get this victory."
This is why Watkins Glen sells out finish after finish after finish. It's Buescher's speed through the S's that forces this mistake. If he loses 2 car lengths up the S's, SVG knows it. He'll look in the mirror, he'll easily get in there, Jeff, but the pressure of the 17 forced the mistake at SVG.
Look at on board a Buescher. Contact with the wall, that right there. Remember, that is a change to the racetrack. SVG so good at using all of the racetrack. That's where he gets his speed. Just a little bit too much. Got on the high side of the curve. A little bit of contact with the wall, but the high side of the curve, Steve, that's what got his car out of shape.
And what a drive by Buescher.